All right, this next video that I'd like to present to you, modern historians, is looking at some of the key people and periods of the time that we're studying. Now, we've already established in a previous video that we're looking at a time frame that runs from Tsarist Russia to the Russian Federation, broadly speaking. Now, we need to know all of this era, it all connects up, but we're not going to be doing assessment on all of those elements. We need to know which bits matter and which bits don't. Modern times, we talk about a country called Russia, the Russian Federation from 1991 to now, led by a series of leaders, including currently Vladimir Putin, very famous figure in the world at the moment, playing a very major part in world affairs. We'll go back to the very start. We're going to pick up the story at the end of the 19th century, the late 1800s. And we're going to look at the final Tsars. In particular, we're going to look at the events that lead up to the revolutions of 1917. There's one revolution in February, March, and I'm doing that on purpose, having two dates there, February, March 1917. And there's another revolution in October, November 1917. The Tsar's empire, this imperial time of Russian history, comes to an end between those two revolutions on September 14th, 1917. At September 1917, we have the creation of this provisional government, a government that's going to exist in the interim to bring about a change. It's a republic. At that time, a civil war breaks out. A war breaks out between the moderate forces of revolution and the more extreme. The more extreme element win. And in 1922, in December 1922, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, the USSR, the Soviet Union, is declared a communist state. So let's think about the key personalities here. Our key Tsar that I want you to be aware of is Tsar Nicholas II. He is replaced by a provisional government led by Prince Lvov and a very famous person called Alexander Kerensky and a number of others. In turn, through a civil war period and then the birth of a communist party in the Soviet Union, we have Lenin and then Trotsky and Stalin and other communist leaders, Bolshevik leaders taking power. And they consolidate that power until 1991, when Boris Yeltsin takes power, and then ultimately Vladimir Putin. So there's our storyline of names, of sequence of governments and so on. But I really need you to remember our focus. And our focus is the period from 1905 to 1928. So that's going to take us from Tsar Nicholas II through Alexander Kerensky, Prince Lvov and others, into the period of time where Vladimir Ilyich Lenin takes power, and he's a very important figure, so much so that I've got his image in the corner up above me here. And then Lenin is succeeded by a number of leaders, but most importantly, Stalin, Joseph Stalin. And it's about that period of 1928 where Stalin's coming to power that we're going to leave the storyline. So take careful note of all of those terms, those ideas, that sequence. That is our beginning of the unit, to give you a large picture that you can use to, I guess, hang the detail on as we move further and further into the unit.